I don't know. Like, it's, you know, sideboards are like very fluid things. You know, I think a lot of times, like, I'm really happy with the main deck of the food deck. I don't think I'm likely to want to change it very much going forward. But I think that the sideboards are always going to be in flux, and like the Esper food deck I think is pretty good against Living End, and I think it's like fine against Rhinos as is. So I don't think that you need to play a Void Mirror. But if the Cascade decks are just, you know, super popular, no, maybe this is Titan. Yeah, this is Titan actually. More likely to be Titan. We're supposed to go Channeler on one. Yavimaya Coast and a Turn Timber Symbiosis. We're playing against Neoform. We're playing against Neoform. Thankfully, we have a lot of sideboard cards for Neoform. Unthankfully, this deck is like very good. Any updates to Red Black Sack? I'm working on it. I've got some ideas. I kind of want to cut Ob. Ob is fine, but it also like kind of feels like the worst card in the deck. I don't know. Shiz to go to 2 months. Appreciate you. It's not bad. It's fine, but I feel like there's maybe a different direction to go. Like, really Unlucky Witness is the star of the deck, so I was kind of hoping to find a version that Unlucky Witness shines more in. I guess maybe my opponent draws. Maybe they draw 14 here, and then they don't find extra turn effect, and I double bolt them. Copium. I mean, yeah, they drew 14. If they just, you know, if they just don't have a Nourishing Shoal in the top 22 cards of their library, probably win. You can't cut Ob. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not play the full 4 like I was playing, and like potentially be on a more creature focused build of the deck. I'm not sure. Like, I keep trying to think about like playing Aether Vial, and like I really wish that you could play Recruiter and like Recruiter for Mayhem Devil, but you can't Recruiter for Mayhem Devil. Everybody be cool if I see anybody in chat freaking out. Easy ban. Everybody be calm. Yeah, what's kind of funny here is I'm never beating the Griselbrand on turn 2 as the prowess deck. Like, it's just not happening. It is just not happening. But I don't know how they win here, because like even if they have Pact of Negation, don't they just die on their upkeep? Everybody be cool. Be cool. They play not Force of Negation. No. Let's go. Oh man, Magic is so easy. Just like the easiest game. All right, I kind of think I'm gonna go minus Gross, minus Shredder. Shredder's a hard card to tap out for this matchup. What's their combo? So they Neoform Griselbrand into play by sacking an Allosaurus Rider or Eldritch Evolution into play. Then things get a little bit weird. They can draw their entire deck by having Nourishing Shoal, exiling or Autocrod Worm and other big creatures to gain a lot of life, and then they usually have a couple. There's a few different like very convoluted paths that that different versions play to win from that point. I think on the draw I need to mulligan for Counterspell. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a few convoluted ways to win. They mostly involve Mox Amber to make mana off of Griselbrand. Sometimes they'll win with the Laboratory Maniac, but a lot of times they'll go Throsta, and then there's a 1-mana spell that says target creature gets +X for the amount of life you've gained this turn, or that many counters, and then it kills you. Like, you know, they hit you for like 50 with that. All right, we're gonna salvage the Phoenix away end of turn. Yeah. It's like Mox Amber, cast Springleaf Drum, tap Springleaf Drum, and then they go Heritage Druid, Off the Springleaf Drum, Allosaurus Riders. They play more Allosaurus Riders, tap the Allosaurus Riders to Heritage Druid, make 3 mana Thrusta, and then play that 1 card that pumps the Thrusta. And supposedly that's the best way to win. Alright, so we beat Pact of Negation. We do not beat Veil of Summer as the last card. Okay, I want to know, huh? Easy game. Easy life. Okay, on the play. Jegantha is my companion. Great hand, gonna keep this. Build Brew, play Jank combo deck, win anyways, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Although we lost to Oops All Spells earlier. Aspiring Vantage, Lava Spike. Okay, burn matchup is probably horrendous. Well, I guess maybe the Flusterstorms help, the Mutagenic Growths help. Usually burn is favored versus prowess. Eidolon is like actual nightmare card here. Searing Blaze is painful, but we get to keep our Shredder alive, thankfully. They have 5 cards in their hand. I'm at 12 life. Guess we'll go Channeler, Salvaging, Surveil. Surveil down to the graveyard. Discard here. Discard here. Attack with the Shredder. Okay, down to 5. There's now maybe a chance I can kill my opponent next turn. Down to 2. So I'm going to start the turn off with the Faithless Salvaging. Let's get my Surveil going before anything else happens. Surveil that into the graveyard. So there's a chance I just have to discard the Iteration and I have to kill my opponent by drawing something for the Swiftspear. Is that true? Let's see. Let's say that this is 3 power, this is 4 power, so it's 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. And if we draw a Lightning Bolt off the Iteration, that's still not enough for lethal. Discard the Iteration. We draw like Lava Dart, that's a win, I think. That's true. We may have to... Discarding the Swiftspear is maybe the only way we get Delirium. Yeah... It's also rough that we have both of our basic islands in play. Okay, Swiftspear. So I go Swiftspear, Iteration. That's still only 1 spell cast. I don't have the life to Mutagenic Growth. Fuck. So Iteration gives me Delirium. Connives here. 2 Phoenixes come back. 6, 10, 13... So Spirit gonna hit land Lava Dart. The problem with land Lava Dart is I have to hit exactly the last Fiery Islet. That's the only land of the deck that works for that. But I'm not sure like what Iteration even hits either. Oh, I could Surveil another Phoenix into the yard. Yeah, that's the line. Try to play this, hit Bolt, Surveil another Phoenix into the yard. Yeah, I only have 2. I only have 2 mountains in the deck. That being said, we have 2 more looks at a Phoenix in the yard, and then a Lava Dart is a reroll. 1 more look. Correct. So this is again 10. We put our opponent to 1 here, which is not a great not 0. Anyway, so if I hit them for all 3 and their hand is all 3 mana burn spells, they can't tap the Canyon. Alternatively, I can leave back one of these or 2 of these to block creatures. That's probably the most relevant. I guess I should have bobbled first, but probably did no matter what. Very close game, obviously. 1 is greater than 0. Yeah. Good game, though. Good game. Yeah, I just needed to find another Phoenix there. Obviously, didn't have very many Phoenixes left. If you take Arid Mesa, you would win. Well, if you were listening to the stream, you would know that I only had 2 mountains in the deck, so I had no basic mountains to fetch with Arid Mesa. But only if you were listening, you would have known that. So I think I'm just bringing in the 4th Mutagenic Growth and the Flusterstorms over the Darts. Darts pretty bad in this matchup. I wanted to play a 3rd mountain in the deck, but I think the 3 mountains and the Stomping Ground is too many just red sources. Yeah, there's a new badge for watching without audio. With Murktide moving towards Shredder, do you think Force of Negation makes sense? Tapping out turn 2 for Shredder is pretty vulnerable without it. I don't know, like, if you're going to play a 2-minute creature, you just have to be somewhat comfortable with your opponent killing it with the removal spell. You know what I mean? It's just okay. Growth is good over Dart. Yeah, Growth is really good in this matchup because it protects your creatures from a removal spell. Yeah, protecting your creatures from a removal spell is really important, so you can actually race. Because a lot of times what Burn does is it'll just kill one of your creatures, then you can't race. Alright, definitely just going to block and Growth. Opponent's pausing here. I don't know. They have Gutshot. People have suggested Riddlesmith a lot. I'm currently evaluating that card as being like worse than Ledger Shredder by like a decent amount, but like Shredder flies, it triggers on both of your opponent's turns, it triggers off of non-artifact spells too. I think if you're looking for like a budget replacement for Shredder, then like it seems more reasonable, but I'm like just not that into it, I guess. You've been saying Shredder is bad in Phoenix, so what's going on here? So I've been saying Shredder is bad in the Jeskai Phoenix deck, the one that I've spent the most time on in Modern, the version that plays Phoenix Demi-Lich, is playing Mending, and is like very much in on like the recurred creatures from the graveyard plan. This is kind of a different archetype. This is a prowess list, and we've already played and determined that Ledger Shredder is good in prowess. This is something that we were working on last week, 2 weeks ago. This is not the right list. I'm going to delete this one. Actually, this is just old. Pre-image 2. But we had Is It Prowess that was playing Shredder, Soulscar Mage, Dragon Rage's Channeler, and Swiftspear as their threats of choice. And also a couple of Underworld Breach. And I liked this deck a lot. I thought it was pretty good. And I think it makes a lot of sense to pivot this deck into playing Phoenix over the Soulscar Mage, and that way you just have like the extra, obviously, like looting effects for value. And you get to be like a lot grindier in the Murktide metagame. You have a lot more explosive nut draws. This plan works really well with not only the... I'm not sure what I'm discarding here. Maybe the Shredder for Delirium. It works well not only with the Shredders, but also Faithless Salvaging is good in a prowess deck. You get multiple prowess triggers. Seems worth it to go... If I go hand, bottom, exile, double Mutagenic Growth, down to 8 life, that's going to be... And then this discards, that's going to be 6, plus 4, 10, plus 3. And then I'll be at 8 life, and it's pretty hard to die to 3 lands at 8 life in 1 turn. They need to actually... They need to have untapped land and then 3 1-mana burn spells, which obviously can be their hand, but it's not that likely. Oh, and I milled over another Phoenix. Yeah, just having access to like these nut draws, milling over more Phoenixes, looting the Phoenixes away is very explosive and powerful. Turn 3. Yes, they have to have untapped land, 3 1-mana burn spells. Dude, people keep suggesting Faithless Salvaging. That card is card disadvantage in 2022. What are you thinking? Skullcrack of themselves. Alright, this line didn't play around that. Didn't play around that. Alright, go to game 3. Game 2 is going to be way harder on the draw. Shredder version of Blue-Red Heroic deck, I must say Shredder and Storm Chaser Drake are good, but everything else, especially the mana, is mediocre. Yeah, the mana Blue-White's just... They need the Allied... They need to put the Allied fast lands in Pioneer like a year ago. How long till Pioneer Horizons? Yeah, I feel like... I don't know. If Wizards hadn't been so wishy-washy in the format, we probably would have had something like that already. I think we keep this. We have a Lightning Bolt. We have a Flusterstorm. This is very good once we draw a creature. Theoretically good. You look like half my high school teachers. Well, I was at one point trying to be a high school teacher, so... Yeah, I think we'll play the Arid Mesa turn 1 here, and if they do like play an Eidolon, we'll just get this Steven's tapped, both the Eidolon, hold up Flusterstorm. How much is the haircut near me? The haircut was like 15 bucks near me, but I ended up tipping like 20 bucks because the haircut was, I think, really good, and he was nice and fast and didn't make small talk. Not that I tip based on a barber trying to make small talk or not, but I did appreciate no small talk. My parents took us out to dinner to celebrate Esther graduating, and my dad told me this is the best haircut I've ever had. Okay, can't Flusterstorm that. Rest in peace. That's fine. That's fine. I could go Manamorphose into Shredder here to keep the Flusterstorm up. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. It's a bit wacky. I thought I was gonna grow up my hair. I was thinking about it. Yeah, I was. No, professional front party in the back. I was thinking about growing out my hair. Esther's always like, ooh. Growing out your hair, huh? She's always like very in favor of it. I didn't trim my beard though. I'm thinking about growing out the beard, but I always think, yeah, I'll grow out my hair this time, and then I just really dislike it being super long. Okay, opponent played around Flusterstorm pretty well, so I could counter this by Mutagenic Growthing. It feels like kind of a waste though. Mutagenic Growth into Flusterstorm. You have to get the initial cut with the intention of growing it out. Yeah, I had no idea that was the case. Why is that? I think that this read makes sense. Yeah, because I went Manamorphose to leave the blue mana up. Makes sense for them to play around Spell Piercer, Flusterstorm. It's a good line by them. Grow it out how much? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of like the fun part about growing out your hair, though. Is like eventually you get to a point where you're like, all right, that's good in theory, right? Path to Exile. So if I Flusterstorm this, it's currently counter unless they pay 3. I can Mutagenic Growth, but then that puts me dead to... Oh, then I put both mountains in play. It puts me dead to 2 burn spells instead of 3. So I think I just let it go. And then discard the Salvaging, especially when the Rest in Peace is out there. Play at least one Bauble this turn. It's possible I should hold one for the iteration turn next turn. Yeah, I think I'll hold one. Should have played Bauble before Manamorphose. Well, I wanted to hold it in case I drew Monastery Swiftspear, I mean, if my opponent wants to play around Flusterstorm, they can play around Flusterstorm if I play the Bauble or if I don't play the Bauble. These channelers are pretty bad into the Rest in Peace. I might just try to connive them away. I'm like looking for like a Swiftspear specifically. Okay, well, Phoenix pretty bad into the Rest in Peace too. I don't think I need to spend too much time trying to like make that one work. Let's see what they're drawing. Sunbaked Canyon, so we don't really know what they're drawing, I guess. Then maybe I'll cast this channeler. Then the Boros Charm. Building the Ragavan-less Shredder Murktide, but I open one of those image 2 draft. Do I take the monkey pill now? I don't know. I think it's fine to play with. I think it's fine to play without. I guess now I can go Mutagenic Growth Flusterstorm if they do have Boros Charm. 3 mana. Finally get to Flusterstorm, a burn spell. And Channeler gets to help smooth out the draws. Another Mutagenic Growth is interesting. Now if we can find a Swiftspear, I think we just win. Being able to go Manamorphose into Flusterstorm is pretty appealing. So I could just go hand the Manamorphose. Hand the Manamorphose, cast Mutagenic Growth, attack for 6. Yeah, I think I like that this helps me beat a this helps me beat a Boros Charm. Although does that present lethal? So now this is 6, 9. Yeah, that's lethal if I discard a spell. So I've discarded exactly Flusterstorm so I can draw into. Oh, no, I drew the bolt already. Okay, tense game. Oh, there's the stupid Swiftspear. 7. Yeah, lethal. There's the stupid Swiftspear. Phoenix Growth win. There's a Rest in Peace in play, so... Oh, wait, was hardcasting Phoenix and Growthing lethal? Did I miss that? Maybe it was. 2-0 either way. Found lethal. Every time I start to build this deck, I'm always like, boy, do I wish... Oh, this hand's great. I should probably leave up mana turn 1 here to kill a DRC or Ragavan. I'm always like, I really wish that I could Imperial Recruiter for one of these 2 cards, either Renegade Rallier or Extraction Specialist. Yeah, I'm kind of confused, I guess, why you're not playing Renegade Rallier too, though, because like Renegade Rallier I think is better than Specialist because it can get you back lands and it can get you back your Altar of Dementia. So like I don't think it makes a lot of sense to me to be on 4 Specialist, 0 Renegade Rallier. I would be on like 4 Rallier, like maybe 2 Extractionist or Specialist or maybe do something like 4 Rallier, 2 Specialist, 2 Seasoned Pyromancer. Although your mana gets so much better if you cut the red. You lose the Goblin Bombardment, I suppose, but your mana gets a lot better if you cut the red. And then I also think that you're probably supposed to be playing Carrion Feeder, because Carrion Feeder is another way for you to go infinite with your combo. So yeah, maybe something like 4 Rallier, 3 Specialist, 4 Carrion Feeder over the Stitcher Suppliers. I don't think the Suppliers are necessarily that good, or like 2 Supplier, 4 Feeder, 0 Charming Prince. Maybe the Bombardment makes the room here. Specialist doesn't need Revolt at first. Yeah, but Revolt is so easy to get. You know what I mean? Like, Revolt is just, like, almost free. And I don't like to describe these kind of things as being free, but it's so easy to get Revolt. It's almost like a non-conversation to me. Okay. I guess we're going to go Swiftspear, Dart, Flashback, Dart, Mutagenic Growth, attack. Attacking for 9 down to 7. Iteration in hand. Yeah, I really dislike Charming Prince. I think we'll get that out. I'd recommend getting that out of here. You You can still play Ephemerate. Ephemerate's really good with Renegade Rallier. You could maybe play the full 4 of each, but it's probably not necessary. You could also potentially play Eldamri's Call, but Eldamri's Call may be kind of slow. So maybe no Prince, no Seasoned Pyromancer for 4 Carrion Feeder, no Bombardment. And I guess you need one more cut to play 4 Rallier, 3 Specialist, if we feel like that's a good number. Your mana also gets really good, too. Yeah, I do think I'm going to send the 1 Power Swiftspear to Fairy, so if they do have Verdict, they have to sorcery speed that shit. Sideboard. I'd be really interested in playing like 4 Forge Tenders, Burrington Forge Tenders in your sideboard. I think Grand Abolishers, not great. Dawnbringer Cleric is really good. I like that card a lot. I don't know if you want to play that many copies, but I do like that card. Scholar's kind of interesting. We have Summer's a consideration as well. Alright, 2 Prismatic Endings. If only I had my Shredder so I could connive. Alright, well. Shredder, connive, Phoenix in the yard, feeling good. I've cast 1 spell so far. Or sorry, no instants or sorceries so far. Oh, okay, but then I'll just leave that on top, and then next turn I can Lava Dart, or Manamorphose, Lava Dart, Flashback Dart, and that's 5, even if the Shredder dies. You don't like hard casting Phoenix? Nope, I don't like it. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Just like put them to 2. But I mean, this value seems really good, though, right? I think that this line's better, especially game 1 where there's no graveyard hate. This deck tile is pretty good. It's actually just clickbait. I thought Phoenix actually was creature type bird, but apparently it's not. Is Vio viable in this list? Maybe. Would make Eldamri's Call better. Probably just like a different way to build it. Yeah, if we didn't have the ability to connive, then hardcasting Phoenix is good. I'm thinking of my first Pioneer deck be Mono Red Fires. Is there anything main or side I would update? Yeah, I would cut the Light Up the Nights in favor of Strangle, and then I would cut the Pyromancer's Goggles from the sideboard because you're cutting the Light Up the Nights. Oh boy. In favor of the 3rd copy of Anger of the Gods. Wait, you weren't dead? Or am I chat lethal? Oh, I guess they're dead to Bolt. Flashback Dart. I mean, this also should be lethal. I got kind of like lost in the sauce on the value here, I think. So if they have Solitude, they get out of this, but they don't. But I was just thinking I get to bring back the Phoenix spec anyways and present lethal, but it's better to just like do this through a possible Solitude for sure. Yeah, that was me missing it, not chat this time. So I want to cut the Mutagenic Growths, I think, in this matchup. And then my opponent should be playing Soul Guide Lantern as their graveyard hate of choice. I'm not a big fan of like Flusterstorm in this matchup either. I think I might do something like 1 Ancient Grudge, 2 Flusterstorm, despite not like really liking these cards. They're okay. They're okay. No, with the other line, I still get to bring the Phoenix back. If I just wait to go Bolt, Dart, Flashback, Dart, I still get Phoenix back. Which Grudge for the blue-white players are all praying at the altar of Guillaume Wafotapa, and he is Wafotapa, and he is forcing them all to play Snapcaster Mage. So instead of Rest in Peace, they're playing Soul Guide Lantern, usually some number of relics too. So I think 1 Grudge is good. You could maybe want 2, but you also just like can play through those cards pretty often. Oh, I guess Chalice. Yeah, Chalice is probably actually scary enough. But I just want to be on like 3 Grudges. I don't even know if I don't know if they're playing it, but what's nice about this list, if like Grudge is dead, you can loot him away. Wouldn't Nyx be a lot cooler than Invasive Surgery? Well, Nyx does not. It doesn't like surgical the living ends. But it would be cooler, yeah. I registered Nyx back in the Cascade Valky metagame. I liked it a lot then. Okay, keep Triple Swiftspear. Yeah, sorry for not bracing everybody. Wafo's current Xion. Yeah, dude. I was such a Paul Xion fanboy. I was just like watching the stream, taking notes on the freaking Jeskai Nahiri deck every single day. Every single day, taking notes. Just, oh man, I was just, my mind was going crazy with the the Jeskai Nahiri deck. I loved Paul's stream. Like, I've said this many times, but I was only on Twitch back then to watch Paul. I watched LSV and Gabby too, but like LSV didn't stream that often. I like Gabby's streams too. But when Paul stopped streaming, I was just like, I don't think I even like logged in for years after that. I miss Gabby's streams too. I don't think I like have, since I started streaming in like a somewhat similar time slot, I kind of stopped being able to tune in. But Gabby's streams are really good. Then she hasn't been streaming very much at all. Quads! Quads, baby. Alright, not a lot to discard here, but we get the extra prowess triggers. Yeah. Obviously very happy. Baby's more important. Yeah, the last Paul stream was so sad. Ugh. Well, I thought my Triple Swiftspear may be tough to answer. They only have 2 cards left in their hand, I guess. Is this deck called Hot Wings? Oh, that's not a bad name. I guess I'm glad they don't have the Teferi for my salvagings. I guess I'll discard an Arid Mesa too. It's kind of close. Red, blue. Come on, Phoenix. No Phoenix. So I think what I'm supposed to do here is salvaging and then... oh, sorry. It doesn't work this way. It's not discard as part of the cost. I was thinking maybe discard something on the stack. Oh, now... I'm not going to salvage, discard the iteration. So I'm just going to chill. Yeah, it feels bad to not get like card advantage off the salvagings. Maybe I was supposed to wait a little bit more. Although having a hand of double iteration at this point in the game is not too bad either. So one of them is getting countered. I think I'll play this iteration so they can't... Or they have a lower chance to draw another counterspell. Fuck. Dude, what is this draw? Good beats, I guess. I've got 2 cards in their hand. Untap land to Fairy Hero. Hold on, let's see what we draw before I start yelling. Okay. Jegantha, to me! Answer and hear my call! I summoned thee! Jegantha, the Wellspring! Alright, so maybe good to play the land for salvaging and iteration, but I've already cast 4 salvagings, 2 iterations, so... it was good to just put this in hand. Go! My beast of burden! Winning so many games in spots like this, but chat just keeps going, Spike, is it Jegantha still worth it? Yes! It is worth it. I think I'm leaving this Phoenix back to block against a blue-white control, baby. 5 mana gain 5, baby. 5 mana gain 5. Do they have another Solitude? Okay, just scratch you. We're up a game. Our draw was so good too, but their draw was, you know, lined up well against ours. They put 2 cards on top. They put 2 cards on top. Maybe we'll get to see a sideboard card or something. Teferi the Fun Raveler. Alright, come on, Ledger Shredder. Ledger Shredder is easily the best top deck now. Stomping Ground for Mutagenic Growth. It's for sideboard Ancient Grudge. Alright, they got this Hall of the Storm Giants. I'm gonna just go to game 3. Fun, successfully raveled. We didn't see any artifacts this game. On the play, I think I'll play the first Flusterstorm over third Grudge. Yeah, their draw was nuts. Our draw was really good too, though, for what it's worth. Is Magus bad? I think Magus is bad against the Solitude deck, yeah. Do all blue-white decks play both Hall and Call? Every blue-white control player on Magic Online and in paper is playing Guillaume Wafu-Tapa's last 75 or 95. There used to be a lot of differing opinions and a lot of like different camps on what's good, what's bad. And Guillaume Wafu-Tapa, the Unifier, brought every blue-white control player together to play the exact same list. The exact same list. If you're not playing Wafo's list, you're not playing blue-white control. You're exiled from the community. You're playing blue-white card mid-range. Blue-white card draw mid-range. It's a different archetype. You're exiled from the blue-white control Discord, the blue-white control community. You're not allowed to call yourself a control player. Yeah, homebrew. Wow, what is this Azurius pile you're playing? Oh, rough mulligan. Okay, good hand though. Good hand. Kind of tough what to put back. Is it the Shredder? I think it's the Shredder. Yeah, I think we're supposed to turn 1 Channeler and then not Lava Dart and the upkeep to draw land, because if we draw a land off the dart, then we're not doing anything turn 2 anyways. So we're going to hope to just high roll the land and then try to resolve the salvaging for the Phoenix. And if we miss the land, then we can dart to Surveil and get desperate. Alright, come on land, off the top, please. Please. Fuck. Tapped Castle Ventress. Come on, I never asked for anything in my in my life before. Okay, this does mean as soon as we draw the land, we do get to Phoenix, I guess. Lost to Belcher. We lost to Oopsal Spells in League 1, and then we had like a 1-2 drop after losing to 2 linear decks. I can't even remember. Now we're 2-0, 1 game 1 against Blue-White. Lost a really rough game 2, where we had a really good draw, but our opponent's draw was better. And now we've had a tough mulligan game 3. Okay, they are playing Chalice. I'm happy I brought the end of these grudges. Land to me now! I summon thee! Let's go. I have the grudges in the deck, so I don't think I need to dart to like just deal damage here. They have Solitude. All that work for a drop of blood. Fuck. Alright, let's draw Phoenix off the Bauble so we can salvage it away next turn. A different bird. 3 cards in my opponent's hand. I think I cast this. I still have 2 Ancient Grudges in the deck to draw into. Don't have my Stomping Ground yet, but Jegantha can cast Flashback the Grudge. Maybe that's the least of my worries. Drawing 2 a Charm, up to 5 cards. Yikes. We're not shocked to connive. I've already cast a spell on my upkeep. I cast the salvaging on my upkeep, so I don't get to connive. Alright, 1 damage dealt. Victory achieved. Fuck. When do you want Shredder? He's first to go back and mulligan on opener. You don't seem to want to draw it ever. We're at a 1-land keep. We had a 1-land keep with a different 2-drop to enable our Phoenix. It's just I don't know, dude. I don't know how to answer that question. I feel like that it feels like your evaluation's a bit off. Yeah, we're on an awkward 1-land mulligan. That is a spot where you don't want Shredder, but Shredder is a very good threat in this deck. Alright, there's Ancient Grudge. Maybe too little, too late. So we can Bolt Wandering Emperor, or I can go Swiftspear, Dart to Fairy. It's probably a bit better. No, but Shredder's, I think, very strong in this deck with 8 very powerful spells to discard. Shredder's even like really good in just regular blue-red prowess I've played. It's better here, you know. Okay, got rid of my 2 more lava darts. 4 cards in the hand, probably dead. Alright, Phoenix is not the worst pickup. Okay. If I attack, they eat this with the colonnade, so I have to not attack, which hurts me in the heart region. How do I go about playtesting for a tournament? I simply stream and play and think about Magic non-stop my entire life is how I typically playtest for tournaments. It's not the most efficient, but it is my method. And I usually, after spending that much time, the time being my entire life, or all, you know, like 60 to 70 hours a week, every week, I usually have an idea of what the best thing for the weekend is. When I'm playing Rocco again? I don't know. If I had an answer, I'd tell you. I will play Rocco again at some point. I feel good about the fact that I still have a lot of irons in the fire, but there is a long time before the release of the next set. So I'm starting to get a little worried that I'm going to run out of stuff to do, which is always a concern, right? I think I'm bolting. But I'm not out of stuff yet. It's like, there's not a new set for Modern and Pioneer and Standard until September. It's like this Commander set and then Double Masters. And then we don't get a new one until September. And then there's like another new set in like October, like November, right? It's like right afterwards. It's really weird. Yeah, maybe we will just trophy race next season. I think I'll go Channeler Bauble this turn. Yeah, but plenty of time to play the favorite brews over and over again. Yeah, it really seems like they I don't know why it's like this, but it is like this. Shuffle that away. What do you think about Shredder instead of Monkey and Murktide? I was maybe one of the first people to do that. I was doing that like 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point. I think that it is playing all creatures that fly is pretty interesting. I thought it was a fine way to build a deck, and I definitely felt like in like some specific matchups like Yawgmoth, it really improved your matchup spread. Another iteration. So I guess I'll jam this into a counterspell. No counterspell. Do I have to keep a Shredder here? I just don't have any creatures. Iteration's probably better than Shredder next turn, though. I need to exile the Bolt. It's close. We'll find a creature. I think it's better when there's more time between sets. They need to make up their mind. Yeah. I don't know. Like, at the very least, like, this is, like, too long a gap, and then it's immediately followed by too short a gap. Mutagenic Growth. Okay. So, and then Arid Mesa. So we're actually playing against the Prowess variant. Interesting. Thoughts on Corpse Explosion in Rakdos Shell with Kroxa and Death Shadow to heal with Omnath. I feel like I'm going to read Corpse Explosion. It's going to be like a less efficient removal spell than like Fatal Push. This will constantly cast spell. Exile creature you have read. Deals damage card each creature in Planeswalker. Yeah, I mean, you're not wanting to sweep the board in those kinds of matchups. Yeah, you're really not wanting to be the one to sweep the board in those kinds of matchups. You want to be the one that's having like targeted, you know, efficient removal spells instead. Very lucky to draw Bolt to kill the Shredder there, by the way. I think, are we playing the Mirror? No, it's not the Mirror because they're playing Heat. I wasn't playing Heat. Upkeep Bolt. No Mutagenic Growth in hand. And yeah, they're playing Consider. I wonder if they have Stormwing. I will say Corpse Explosion, very cool card, but you know, it's one of those like kind of, oh, whoops. It's one of those like sneaky designs, right? It's one of those sneaky designs that's like, ooh, look how much damage you can deal if you have a Death Shadow or a, This is a hard draw. But it's like, ooh, look how much damage you can deal if you have a Death Shadow or a, whatever, Kroxa. But it's like, if you're playing creatures with lots of power, you're not really wanting to play board wipes. So it's very tricky. It's the kind of card that like tricks you into thinking it's good, but like its deck building restriction is a hoop that you don't really want to jump through, if that makes sense. Dude, is that the fourth Bolt? No, that was the second Bolt. They had Heat. And they put a Canal in their graveyard. New card off the draw step. Good card. Good card. Underworld Breach. I typically do like Underworld Breach and Prowess. But I think in this version it is not correct to play. Kind of seems like a conversation right now on the Prowess community of like Phoenix versus Underworld Breach. Okay, I think I'll discard the Shredder actually. Oh, that's a great draw. So now we go Swiftspear, Manamorphose, so then we can get our Phoenix back after casting the Bolt. I think I'll save this for next turn. They bolt me down to 4. They put another land in their graveyard. Dragon Rage's Channeler is broken. They immediately didn't do anything, so they either drew removal spell or land. It's kind of close with. I think I don't want to Channeler first. Yeah, let's just go hand, bottom, exile, Channeler, tap Steam Vents, attack for 6, put my opponent to 2. Then they have to have a hand of 2 burn spells, and if they didn't have a burn spell in their hand this turn, they have to draw Expressive Iteration instead. Or Underworld Breach. Damn it! Ah, freaking Underworld Breach. Good card, good card. A lot of tense matches today. I'm going to bring in 4th Mutagenic Growth. My opponent does have Ragavan, so maybe I shouldn't have cut the 4th Dart. Maybe we'll cut the 4th Salvaging. Yeah, very few cards kill us there. But Breach is very good. I was playing Breach in this list recently. I was liking it a lot. I think I like this Phoenix list more, though, so far. Corpse Explosion, Reckoner, deal 13. No, I'm a sucker for Boros Reckoner. Yeah, Theros Beyond Death. What a set. What a set. I remember, like... they printed Underworld Breach, and all the Legacy players were like... This card does what? It can't be as broken as it looks. With Lion's Eye Diamond and Brain Freeze. It can't possibly be this broken. Surely Wizards, like what's the point? This is like an unplayable standard card. Why would Wizards print a card that's like unplayable in standard and like only is it going to see play in older formats and be absolutely broken there? There must be something we're missing, but there was nothing. There was nothing missing. There was nothing missing there. Just a better Yawgmoth's Will. Rough for them to have the bowl, to me not have one of my Mutagenic Growths is what it is. Okay, Ragavan's probably fine. Alright, one Manamorphose. There's a Lava Dart. I think I'll cycle the second Manamorphose too. It's kind of close. Then I can either go... I'm going to exile a land here, and then next turn I'm going to either play Shredder Channel or something, or just Shredder Shredder. Shredder Shredder seems pretty sick. I don't have another 1-mana spell in hand to... make a Dragon Range's Channeler more efficient, but if I draw one, it's obviously a bit worse. Thankfully, Breach was banned in Legacy and Pioneer without too much delay. It was in Pioneer for like way too long, and it was also in Legacy for way too long. Like it was in Legacy for like 2 months, which I actually feel like was too long. Okay, so Max punished for getting second Shredder here, but still think we're Lava Darting. Also good top decks too, like that one. I think I'm bolting the Channeler. I need to get this up to 4 toughness, so I'll bolt here. Thoughts on Underworld Breach deck in Modern? I mean, like, I think the Twiddlestorm Breach deck is fine, and I think that, like, Prowess with Breach is also fine. Breach had a legit case of being banned upon legality and Legacy. Yeah, I agree completely. I feel like I very rarely support those kind of sentiments, and I usually want to play with the cards first, but Breach definitely felt like an exception to that. So we are losing this no matter what. So I guess I'll just discard the Arid Mesa. Maybe it should have been printed. Yeah, like the design was just horrible. Absolutely. Like the fact that would like made it through printed as is just like maybe if it was like Escape 6 or something like much higher, you could have made a better argument for its legality. Right, floating out a little bit. Still gonna attack here. Oh, the 9 months, appreciate you. Got the Islet to sack too. I think it was also probably a design mistake of the escape mechanic, that you could escape the same card multiple times. The fact that like after you escaped Uro, it didn't get exiled if it were to go to the graveyard. I think that was a big design mistake as well. And like Underworld Breach and Uro and Kroxa would all still like probably see some play and just be like reasonable Magic cards. I mean, Kroxa is a reasonable Magic card, I guess, but Uro and Breach. I think that was a design flaw of the escape mechanic that didn't work like Flashback. Swiftspear Mutagenic Growth is kind of like the best draw you can have. That being said, we have a 1-lander, but we are also on the draw. And this is a really good start. I think I'm going to mulligan. But very close hand. yeah, and then Stinking Elspeth. Oh, man. Snapkeep, what are we, cowards? Yeah, we're cowards today. Cowards today, huh? Fire, once formats, you can play a lot, and just keep things fresh, not redundant, so make a mechanic because you do looks like they return, yeah. You know, like, I think one thing that people always talk about fire design, right? People always talk about fire design. And it's started to lose all meaning. But like what fire design means to me is designers trying to fix the biggest design flaw in Magic. The biggest design flaw in Magic. Wait, they just dart kill Swiftspear? What the heck? The biggest problem with Magic is the degree of non-games that exist because one player draws no lands or one player draws all lands. That is like the biggest problem that a lot of players have with the game. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about there. But having cards like Uro, having the like adventure mechanic, having I don't know, I'm blinking. It was like adventure, escape, and then there was like one more mechanic printed in that time frame that also just like basically made sure you would never run out of gas. You know, MDFCs, yeah, MDFCs. Yeah, Foretell too, but yeah, the MDFCs were like a really good example where you would just you know, either be able to have a land or have a spell. Okay, we're gonna shuffle that away. And I could shock and put Jegantha in the hand, but I don't think that's worth the damage. Then I don't know if I don't think I can really block here. So like those were the examples of like this design philosophy, I think, and like obviously like that doesn't stop mana screw games, but if you give players so many good mana sinks, then you just allow them to play more lands than they would otherwise, and so you kind of fix both problems with one design philosophy change. And I feel like that's something that like kind of makes sense on paper, right? That design philosophy, I think that, you know, maybe stated as is, that's something you could kind of get behind. But I think that these kind of design changes reduce variance in games a lot, and they make the games very samey and similar. And this was something LSV was saying constantly on like Twitter and his streams and stuff, was that like the new design philosophy reduced the London Mulligan, like reduced variance in Magic to like a pretty unhealthy place. And that was something that I had a hard time like feeling like I understood or like could reconcile with, because I've always been a player who like would prefer like way less variance compared to more variance. But like the more I've like, you know, spending time reflecting on this idea and the game in general, I feel like I've started to agree with that idea that Magic is a game that needs like a pretty reasonable degree of variance to function. Okay, so I guess I kind of like the idea of maybe making them flashback or sack the crypt here. That's also an interesting draw. So we're gonna have instant creature in the yard. Oh, well. I'll pay. Now I'm not getting the Phoenix back. I think I'm just going to attack for 4 and probably leave a chump blocker back here as well. And then I've got a salvaging on the upkeep. This is maybe a game where we do upkeep the Manamorphose. That being said, I do also really feel like we are out of that era. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like we're still in that that time. Definitely keeping that. By bolting the Swiftspear, it's so bad if they have like Lava Dart, but they would have already Lava Darted. I think I'm just bolting them. Yeah, it was definitely a bad time, but it does feel pretty over at this point. I would say that like since like Kaldheim had some mistakes, all right, Kaldheim had some mistakes, but it does kind of feel like Kaldheim, Strixhaven, MH2. Okay, MH2 is not perfect. Don't jump on me. MH2 is not perfect, but it did not have the like glaring, like broken, overlooked design mistakes that like the previous era had. It has cards that are pretty pushed, very much designed to be a format-defining spells. Not a perfectly designed set. Don't jump on me, but was a set that I like a lot. So they can make me attack with my Swiftspears and then pop the Crypts post-combat. Or my Channelers. What mistakes in Kaldheim? In Kaldheim, they had Tybalt's Trickery, and then the way Cascade worked with Valky at the time was really broken. The ability to Cascade into Valky was actually resulted in like the Brazen Borrower, the one of Borrower. But the Cascade Valky deck, in my opinion, was the most broken deck in Modern's history, and I know that's saying a lot. There have been a lot of really busted decks in Modern's history. But I know that deck was only legal for like 2 or 3 weeks, but in my opinion, it was like it was better than Hogak, better than Eldrazi Winter, better than the Urza Oko deck as well. Better than OG Companions? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, like OG Companions, like you just had like Luris John, do you know what I mean? It was just like I would say that Modern has been absolutely broken 4 times. I don't think that original Companions were like I think Modern has been broken 4 times to where gameplay is unplayable. And I don't think that the original Companions were like that, because like most decks got to play Companion, there was like a lot of dynamics. Like I won a PTQ with Blue-White Miracles with no Companion. In that metagame, or maybe I had Kihira, but what? I mean, who cares about Kihira? But it's like there were decks that were good in the companion metagame too with no companions. But the 4 times Modern was broken was, I think it was first broken with the Oath of the Gatewatch, Eldrazi Winter. Then it was broken again with the Hogak deck. Hogak Summer, and then I think not enough people talk about it, but the Urza Oko Mox Opal, Arkham's Astrolabe, Mystic Sanctuary, sometimes Once Upon a Time. That deck was absolutely format breaking. Okay, so they have to leave this back because they don't die to Swiftspear. Come on, Lightning Bolt off the top. Nope. So I think I'll look at my top card. If it's like Salvaging, I won't put Jegantha in hand. If it is something less relevant, I will Jegantha in hand. KCI pretty good. Yeah, KCI was good. KCI was not format breaking. You know, my teammate at the Team Pro Tour when KCI was legal was playing KCI, and he had a horrible day because everybody was super ready for it. It was like had a horrible weekend. Because everybody was like they came ready to beat KCI, every single person in that field. Not saying that like there have been plenty of decks that have needed to be banned, like KCI. There have been plenty of decks that have been like a little too good, but like the fourth time was Cascade Valky, when you could Cascade into Valky and then cast Tybalt for 3 mana. That was the 4th time that gameplay was absolutely unplayable. And in my opinion, of the decks, that was the strongest. It was ridiculous. Like I played a PTQ. I played the Valky PTQ, and I had 4 Force of Negations in my main deck, 3 Pithing Needles in my main deck to needle the Valky, and I was playing a Noble Hierarch Teferi Time Raveler deck, thinking surely this would give me a good Valky matchup, and it didn't. It was insane. Very notably, one game. Turn 1 on the play, my opponent was able to go land, Spirit Guide, Violent Outburst for a Valky on turn 1. I Force of Negationed it, and they used their remaining 3 cards to commandeer my Force of Negation. And and resolve a turn 1 Valky, a turn 1 Tibalt through the Force of Negation. It was obscene. It was obscene. So they're going to crew the hearse. Then I chump block, and I have to draw a Phoenix or a Bolt. Or a Dart. Alright, Phoenix, Bolt, Dart. 3 bolts, 3 darts. Or did I trim a dart? No, I didn't trim a dart. And then 4 Phoenixes. So we have 10 outs out of 36. We also have Iteration, Manamorphose, Salvaging the Cantrip. Shredder can Cantrip. But now I have to draw no Phoenixes on the menu anymore. Thank you, Jegantha! Jegantha! Let's go. Shout out to the 5-5, baby. Bam! Alright, let's go. Did I play when Urza Saga was released? Yeah, I played when Urza Saga released, and I felt like everybody but me was going crazy for Urza Saga. Ah, Urza Saga! Urza Saga is the new Hogak. It's ruining the format. But Urza Saga is just like super beatable. Like that card is just like so freaking beatable. You got Dress Down, you got Outblind Moon, you got Spreading Seas, you now have March of Otherworldly Light. No. I started in Return to Ravnica. I'm pretty new to the game. I've only been playing for 10 years. Existus? My take on the creativity bill persist. I'll take a look. Do you like that deck? Keep this with back Tarn, probably. Or no, I guess I want this for Delirium, so put back the Stomping Ground. Which one broke the game more, Saga or Mob Nixilisk? Yeah, it's always so funny to watch like the standard players freak out about the new Mythic day 1 of set release. It happens so often. Like, I think the most like the funniest examples are most recently Mob Nixilisk. I only have 2 Canals in the deck, so I can play this in turn 1. Most recently Mob Nixilisk, and before that, it was, what was the card? It was Rin 7. Rin 7, people were losing their minds over Rin 7. And, like, like they were just, like, wanting week 1 bans for these cards in Standard. Main deck, Nile Spellbomb. Yeah, Beseiju, too. I think my evaluation of Beseiju was pretty fine, too. Yeah, it exists. Did you post the link in chat? There it is, I see. I think we're playing against 8-rack. Yeah. So let me Salvaging, discard Darts. I guess I'm discarding Arid Mesa now. Then what am I discarding to the Salvaging? Probably the Canal. But kind of a clunky hand against an opponent who said their draw is definitely lined up well. I mulligan against the 8-rack deck. Brutal. They have a spell bomb even if I can't find a Phoenix. Kind of an early concession, but we are super dead. I got a good idea what their list looks like too, I think. I think I'm going to bring in at least 3 Grudge for, I think, the Mutagenic Growth and the 4th Dart. It brings it to full 4, I think. You didn't discard these for values, pretty nice. Don't think I want Flusterstorm or Invasive Surgery, despite Smallpox being kind of scary. Alright, Fatal Push, Hard Evidence, Lightning Bolts. I feel like I'd probably be on 4 Push and 0 Bolts, unless you feel like the turn 1 Black Mana is kind of tough, which you probably don't if you're playing Thoughtseize. But just like 4 Push gives you a much better Hammer Time matchup. Hammer Time is really popular. And in a deck like this that doesn't care that much about bolting your opponent, like the only thing that bolt hits that push really misses is like Karn the Great Creator. I guess like Fury Solitude too. But push also kills Omnath. I feel like in this deck I'd want to be just on 4 push 0 bolt. I play Spell Pierce over a Spell Snare. Like, countering Teferi Time Raveler is, like, super important for you. These drowns feel a little greedy. They feel a little greedy. They're probably okay, though. They're probably okay. I will also say, like, I do prefer the versions with Wrenn and 6 and Teferi. Like, I know they're boring and that this is, like, the hero way to build the deck. This is the noble way to build the deck, but... I don't think it's as good. Indulgence is pretty sick here. I think this is a shell that makes sense to play Indulgence over Unmarked Grave. I like that a lot. Don't want a mulligan in this matchup, so I think I am going to keep. I would love to have a second land so I could connive the Phoenix into the yard, but I guess this is a matchup where I probably just get to discard this at some point for value. I would probably play like 2 Spell Pierce of the main, no Drown, and like First Inquisition or First Fable of the Mirror Breaker. You also play like 1 Terminate too. 1 Terminate could be okay. Cool list though. I like it. I'll say that too. I like it. Despite it probably not being as good as the Wrenn and 6 versions, the build looks very clean overall. Funeral Charm. Oh, I meant to correct the Bauble. I guess it doesn't matter that much. But I will get my Stomping Ground for Grudge flashbacks, and then it's gonna. I already have a card that I would definitely loot away if they do trigger Connive, so I don't think it makes sense to correct the Bauble and make myself worse to a Thoughtseize or something. Choosing to might be right to draw in these matchups. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't played enough of these matchups lately to probably tell you for sure. I think of like these like very aggressive decks like the one I'm playing. I think it probably makes more sense to choose to be on the play, but it's close. Their Nihil Spellbomb on top is also kind of rough. Although this turn, yeah, I think I'm gonna go Swiftspear Bolt, and then I'll try to upkeep the Salvaging, assuming it's still in my hand. You know, one of their 3 cards is Spell Bomb. People Mirror Day, maybe as a one-off, maybe Remand, Fire Ice over Drown. Like, yeah, I mean, I think those would be fine too. I think those would be fine too. It's like, yeah, it's like 1 Drown, 1 Remand, or 1 Fable. I think Fable is like probably the best as a one-of. Okay, so I did stack my Stomping Ground, so we actually can't flashback the Grudge, but I can just loot it away with the Salvaging, I guess. Magic with the 5 months, appreciate ya. See if they sack the Spellbomb end of turn. I've never, in the history of my Magic career, seen anybody sack a Spellbomb before, though. Iteration, very good draw, though. They have a deck for Avian? Or just a link to a tweet? I think this solves the Shredder verse. I can say no to this, right? Yeah, no. Show me how to say no to this. I can't say no to this. So if I keep the Dart in the hand, then I do like force my opponent to use Spellbomb, but I mean they're gonna Spellbomb anyways, so who cares about making them do it? Quit MTG and start streaming my new music career. I don't know, I'm not very musically inclined, but I've got a lot of friends in my life who are. Esther's a beautiful singer. My friend Jalen does all the music for the channel. He's working on a new song too. But I'm not very musically inclined. Curry, I think I said thank you for the 5 months, but thank you for the 5 months. Come on, we gotta beat 8-rack. Got 2 cards in their hand. channel points for Esther just saying next card drawn. I think she's in a I think I can hear her in a meeting right now, but I guess if she's ever not in a meeting, I can ask when we have the 100 channel point redeemed. She's done it a couple times, actually. It could be better to not play the Swiftspear first. It's close. Yeah, it would have been better. It's okay, though. We get them for 4 down to 7. My opponent definitely seems to be stumbling a little bit. Since when did I start streaming standing? It's been a couple weeks. I'm liking it a lot. I feel good. Feel energetic. Feel healthier. Feeling great. Feeling great. Hey, affinity for Squirrel. I'm feeling great. For Squirtle. So they could have sunk 1 more mana into the March. So they must have another 1 mana spell. Hopefully it's like a rack or something. Oh, just retracing Raven's Crime, sure. Okay, so we're both Hellbent. Guess I'm playing Shredder over Jegantha in hand. Put my opponent to 8. Lots of good top decks from here. Oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, probably put. You're right. I probably should have put Dart in hand so I could have discarded it. I actually agree with that. Is this the 4th iteration? No way. It's the 3rd. It's the 3rd. So we'll go hand, bottom, exile, kill Liliana. Yeah, I should have put the Dart in the hand. All right, make me discard the Phoenix. It's, you know, if we're gonna discard a card, I guess we want it to be that one. Or that one. Jegantha, to me! Voidwalker, and that's a scary one. So I can dart my, or I can grudge my own Bauble, but then they get to cast my 5/5. Alright, I'll just attack. Okay, grudge my own Bauble for Connive is interesting. I'm gonna get them to the 5, I don't know. So they play Factory. They can choose to spend 4 mana, draw a card. Yeah, Jegantha is great. It is very good to have access to an effect like this. It's always funny to me that these conversations. Wait, Jegantha's good actually. It's always funny we still have these kind of talks. Companions are just broken. They're just broken cards. Okay, good to know about Smallpox. I think I'm going to discard the broken card, though. Oh, shoot. So obviously if I Manamorphose into a spell, I'm feeling pretty good. But I kind of just want to, like, grudge the Factory, let the Shredder get sacked, and then I've got a pretty good chance of bringing Phoenix back the following turn. Why doesn't Bring to Light Valky a thing anymore? I mean, who said it wasn't a thing? I guess it's not a thing. I don't know. It's like, especially like when Counterspell got printed, it kind of became like a much worse plan to just be on like 5 mana threats in general. Like I think 5 mana threats became much worse in Modern once the metagame kind of got defined by like Counterspell, Cascade decks, Hammer Time. Are companions good enough to still consider a potentially worse card to include them? For example, cutting Snapcasters from lists to allow you to play Kihira. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously like the big example. For the most part, I think that if you think that Snapcasters are really well positioned and they're the best way to play the deck, then it is usually the case that you just play Snapcasters instead. But like the reality is that it's your blue-white control deck's not that much better if you play if you play Snapcaster. It's like really like not a big upgrade almost at all. And so like usually I think it's like a good tiebreaker. Like does building the deck this way let me play Companion, and it's like really close between Snapcaster, no Snapcaster, but one way I get to play Companion and one way I don't. In those kind of spots, I think it's kind of easy. I know my opponent's last card is Smallpox, so I should just discard the Phoenix. Or yeah, discard the Phoenix. Or I guess discarding Salvaging would have won too, but either line wins me the game here. Couldn't you have casted Manamorphose before Grudge for Connive? I could have, but I was thinking that I wanted to save the Manamorphose to bring the Phoenix in my graveyard back to win the game here. Okay, that was a tough game. That was a very, very tough game. It did not look like we were going to get there, but we got there. And it's going to be very interesting to see, does my opponent put me on the player of the draw here? Am I going to try Black Red Rock? Could be good in the meta. I do think Black Red Rock could be good in the meta. I may circle back to it soon. I was talking to one of my friends about this last night. But I don't know. Like, I played hundreds and hundreds of matches of that deck during the trophy race, and I still just have a hard time like waking up and being excited to play some Black Red Rock. But maybe I'll find some tech or an interesting way to build it that will make me more excited for it. Okay, never mulliganing. They did choose to be on the play. And they mulled a 6. If you type !deck in the chat at Tommy, you can get the deck list. Assuming Stream Decker is not broken. We got a lot of grudges in the deck. Dingus, the 10 months. Any chance I could wish my partner happy birthday? Happy birthday, Dingus's partner. Hope it's a good one. Hope that Dingus got you something nice too, huh? Like a copy of Elden Ring. I don't know. What are you getting people for birthday these days? What did I get Esther for her birthday? I think I got her shoes, and I bought her Cyberpunk on the PS5, which she hasn't played yet, but I've played through a couple times and really liked. I think there's something else too. Okay, so we'll discard the Phoenix, and then they'll tap the Relic, and I'll Lava Dart them, exile the Lava Dart instead of the Phoenix. No, I'll Lava Dart the Liliana, so I can attack the Liliana. Yeah, I also bought her a house. No, I mean, she was also like... there's been a couple comments like, oh, Spike bought Esther a house, but Esther's all very professional, very smart career woman. I couldn't have bought the house without her credit. Couldn't do anything without Esther. We miss on the 1-mana spell, though. Miss on the 1-mana spell. Love to find an Ancient Grudge, but I think we can probably say goodbye to our Phoenix. When my opponent pluses this Liliana, I guess I'm discarding Scalding Tarn. Oh, they might just Edict it though. Discard Funeral Charm. Maze deck needs a couple more cheap spells. Seem to spot a few times today. Maybe. We're also like having a really good day today. 4-1 the first league. I guess we kind of awkward second game, but I don't know. I think we're doing all right. You know, we're also playing against 8 rack. It's kind of hard to even like think too much when you play against 8 rack. I am going to go Manamorphose Salvaging so that I can kill the Liliana. And, you know, it's also I think good to remember in spots like this, like when you decide to play a deck like this and you're playing Phoenix instead of like Underworld Breach, you are sacrificing some of that like consistency and like some of those like, you know, you're sacrificing consistency for power level. You're sacrificing the ability to play a deck that is only cheap spells so that you can instead have access to, like, you know, connive away Phoenix, you know, surveil Phoenix into the graveyard and really go crazy. Why the inclusion of the powers package instead of more cantrips filtering to attack on different axes? Well, I'm of the opinion that Shredder does not play well in like the Jeskai Demi-Lich Phoenix shell. Like obviously, you know, you can build a deck this way, and I actually do like this deck a lot. You can build a deck this way that is just all card selection and Phoenix and Demi-Liches, and I think this deck is strong, resilient to removal, very good against Phoenix, has its own, you know, pros and cons to the metagame. But top deck. But I don't think you want to play Shredder, because all of a sudden, like, the best thing about playing that version is that you're just like immune to creature removal, and all of a sudden you are not anymore. I guess I bolt the Liliana, play the Bauble, and then crack on their upkeep. They've got no cards. They've got a Castle Locked-Away, a Relic, and then a Swamp. They're at 20 life, so they can actually castle a time or two. We get to go draw off Bauble. Well, it's not great. Do I dart, flashback dart? Seems okay. Seems okay. It makes their castle a bit worse that my Shredder is bigger. Just connive the Jegantha away every time. Into best possible. Not the prettiest turn, but we're onto something maybe. The rack. First time we've seen one of those. Smallpox would be so bad. Wrench Mind. Well, discard this so that the Shredder gets bigger. Much better for us than Smallpox this turn. We have 4 Ancient Grudges in the deck. We haven't seen a single one. Although this puts us ahead in the current race. Am I try Shredder in a Demi-Lich style package? I don't think so. At least I don't have ideas for how I think it'd be good. But maybe one day. Pete, Tech Tech, would I give your thoughts on a few cards I put in considering the list as well? I can, yeah, I can. You post a link in the chat. I can. Close game, tense game. Saga, very scary. Take just 2 now, though. Hit my opponent for 3 down to 9. Are they going to Saga or Relic? They probably should do one of those things. Sorry, so not Saga, Castle. Heard you mention a few streams ago that Shadow isn't very popular meta. Is there particularly taking games prey on it right now? I mean, I think that like basically every Shadow player is just playing Murktide instead is kind of my evaluation. Yorion Fiddlebender. But blue-white instead of blue-red, which is interesting. Voidwalker, very good. Draw here, take 1 from the rack. Couple draws that kill my opponent. Definitely not Steam Vents, though. So we attack our opponent. They can make a 5/5 construct. But we could maybe bolt the Voidwalker. But my opponent they also do need to draw something, or we win, because we don't take any damage from the rack at the moment. Hey, give me a second on the deck tech. Could bolt the construct, but I think that like the fact that my opponent does need to draw something here to kill me, because otherwise they're putting me to 1. I think I'm supposed to try to like let them draw a brick. And if they do draw a discard spell, like maybe they cast a pre-combat for the Voidwalker, and I get to bolt the Voidwalker. Oh, I didn't even think that I didn't think they even played Shadow Spear. Fuck. I'm not sure that I beat this anyways. So now they gain 6 up to 11. I have to figure out how to deal 11 damage this turn. This should be to draw like Iteration into Bolt or something. Yeah, my opponent's definitely top decked well. Oh, they get to bolt off the Voidwalker. Okay, good game. Good game. Yeah, I missed it. I didn't even like really. It wasn't on my radar. It should have been, I guess. Decree of Pain. Wow, what an art. And then Pain Seer. A very flavorful treasure chest. Alright, we're definitely seeing Pain after that game. Shin with Twitch Prime, appreciate ya.